I got to Lovelock and I did the unthinkable. I ended up hitchhiking and getting to a smaller gas station in Lovelock where these two truckers ended up finding me, and they wanted to help me out. I think their name was Quan or Laquan Warner,
Okay.
and they actually helped drive me east. That's all my goal was. It's just to go east, east, east. So they took me from Lovelock, Nevada,
Okay.
and I ended up at Wendover, Nevada. Wendover, Nevada, I recognize that they were commercial truck drivers, so it's probably not the best thing. But and so I got out of the car and I saw train tracks. So I was like, naturally, like we see train tracks, maybe I could find some luck finding a train station. So I veered off from the gas station and walked on the train tracks. And
Okay.
little more than I ended up walking to these train tracks, and I ended up walking 15 or 18 miles or so, and I ended up at this mine quarry in the middle of the night.
All right.
So
Nicole,
if you could,
I've got the
yeah,
map here. All right.
yeah,
So if I understand correctly,
hmm
here's West Windover, right down here at the bottom of the right-hand corner. All right.
yeah.
The red line is what?
That red line is my journey on those train tracks. I heard the trains, I saw them coming every 4 hours. So I was like, there has to be some kind of railroad or some kind of a train station since they're all coming from this direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'll walk on the train tracks because I do see a building that looks like a train station. And
Okay.
there's like horns blowing off over there. So I was like, yeah, this is definitely a train station. So I'm going to be able to, hitchhike off of this train. And little did I know that I ended up in a mine quarry at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
And that's right up in
Um,
here. Is that right?
yes, it's
Top left-hand
Graymont.
corner here. What would you
hmm
estimate? How long would you estimate, Nicole, that this walk took you from West Windover, following the red line, which are the train tracks?
hmm
How long was that walk? 20
I
minutes, 30
start.
minutes? What would you guess?
I would say I started at like 9 a.m. as soon as the truckers left the gas station,
Okay.
and I got there around like 1 or 2 a.m.
In the morning.
in the night. Yeah, in the night. Yeah. And if you ever get to see a picture of what this like Graymont Peak uh, plant looks like, it looks like you're literally on Mars or something like that. It has all these like turbines and these crazy lights and things like that. So I ended up, no one was there obviously at 2 in the morning. So I ended up going and finding a little office space in that plant, in that mine quarry.
Okay.
And I ended up putting together, a couple of chairs so I could make a bed, and I put a fire blanket over myself because it was the desert, so it does get really cold at night. And I woke up the next morning to alarms and people spraying Lysol in my face because again, it was like COVID time. So they ended up quarantining me for a couple of hours. They didn't know what to do with me. They were like, "This is the craziest thing that I've ever seen. Like, where did you even come from?" I was obviously delusional. They had an ambulance come check me out, and they were like, "You're fine." I'm like, "I'm not fine," like and all these other crazy things. And like they just kept questioning me, and I was just like, okay. But then that morning when they did find me, I ended up having to be driven from all of those workers at that mine quarry
Mhm.
all the way back to the same gas station I started at in West Wendover.
So their best plan was to take you back where you started from.
Yes.
That's
Talk
the
about
plan. That
ground
was plan
zero.
A,
Yeah,
the one and only plan. All right. First, they
yeah,
wake you up by spraying you with Lysol, probably poking you with a bunch of sticks to see if you're alive or not. and then
basically.
and then the best plan is, well, let's send her back from where she started from.
Yeah,
So now you're
yeah,
right back from where you started from at that same gas station.
yep. And cops were trying to settle me down, and then I really lost it because I was like, well, now what? I'm literally stranded. There's nothing here except a bunch of pay phones. And I started to like panic a little bit. The cop wasn't obviously helping me at all. And then just ultimately, like, what was really scary at the time too is like at the mine quarry, they're like, you're at a mine quarry where any step that you take could be like a fall to your death. It's about 150 feet down into these mine quarries. But given that fact, when I was back at West Wendover at that gas station, it was more so like, how do I get home? Enterprise cars were shut down. There was no airports that were working in that area because of COVID. No people with cars would take a crazy person like this off the street. So, when I was in the middle of this breakdown at that gas station back at Wendover, this guy comes up to me. His name is Cameron Saltus. He's also another truck driver.
Okay.
He was a Tesla Model X truck driver that was going on the way to Denver. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be alive, but he ended up taking care of me and driving me all the way to Denver.
Nicole, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm on almost every social media profile. I currently have, my name is Nicole Ogloza. If you do see it in the Zoom, Ogloza. It's one of the very few rarest names, so you definitely are going to find me. But the other way is my email or my phone. So my phone is 813-724-6154. And then my email is Nicole, so Nicole at etha.one, etha.one. So again, that's Nicole at etha.one. It's not .com. I did .one because I want us all under one roof and together again.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nicole, fascinating, exemplary story of what you went through to get where you're at today. And you're the type of person we just can't help but wish for the absolute best as you go forward. Thank you so much for joining us. For you guys, thank you so much for joining us, watching us all the way through this particular episode. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.
See you later.
Well, thanks for watching that last segment. So how can Temple Executive Coaching help you? Well, there's basically 4 ways. 1, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so that you know when we put out a new video. Number 2, we help you to create an effective strategy to help answer the most important strategic questions to give your organization an edge over your competition in your market. Number 3, we help to develop your leadership pipeline's mental fitness and their self-awareness so that they can execute on their most important objectives. And last, we help to strengthen your cash flow management and your financial position. Now, to learn more, set up an appointment. Email us at info@templeexecutivecoaching.com.